Yo YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy BlackBoye. Now today we're going to be discussing SBMM. Now SBMM, otherwise known as skill-based matchmaking, is a system that's been put in place in mainly FPS shooters but all other genres as well over the last decade. Now SBMM is the crux of online gaming, especially in the FPS genre, but it's also the saviour of fun for a majority of casual gamers. Now, regardless of your opinion on SBMM, as you watch this video, I'd like to have an open mind and try and understand how SBMM affects all of us differently. Now XDefiant has launched without SBMM, and I personally am absolutely loving it. It's honestly such a breath of fresh air just playing XDefiant and not having to sweat constantly. It really gives me the vibes of like the old school CODs where I just hop on, and some games I do good, some games I do bad. There was no algorithm forcing me to constantly have what felt like mediocre games or above average games, because it's constantly putting me against people of my own skill level. Now, for over the last decade in gaming, I would say that I have been punished by SPMM, and I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way. As someone who is above average, I would say, at video games, what ends up happening is I do well for a few games and then I just get forced into lobbies with people on my own skill level. You know, let's say for example on COD, let's say I drop like a 90 or 100 kill game, right, on shipment, right? Then for the next hour, I'm just playing against the sweatiest kids in the world in a public match where I'm just trying to have fun. And this wouldn't be an issue if it was ranked gameplay, because when you go to play ranked, you go in with a certain mindset, right? You go in with that mindset of, I want to be competitive. That's where I want to get my fun from today. I want to play this game and I want to do the best I can against people on my other skill level, you know, scratch that competitive itch. However, because most games just have unranked pubs playlists with SPMM, what ends up happening is your pubs experience or your unranked experience turns into ranked. And not having that separation really does ruin the game for me personally. So that inability to just be able to go hop into unranked and just vibe and have fun and chill out is taken away from me. And that's not me saying that I want to stomp new players, and which is, I feel like that's a misconception that a lot of people who like SBMM, a lot of the casual experience, they have this opinion that we just want to stomp new players. We don't. We just want the lobbies to be mixed. We want to be able to have fun. I don't mind fighting some skilled players with some other less skilled players mixed in, because at the end of the day, we all play these games for fun, and that is the most important thing, is having fun. And that also kind of makes me understand why SPMM is also good for the casuals and new players. It's actually funny because for the longest time I thought I hated arena shooters, like actually despised them. I thought I hated COD, and I kind of have for a long time. But playing XDefiant has made me realize that it's not the genre of game that I dislike, it's SBMM. It's SBMM forcing me to not be able to have fun. It's taking that fun away from me. And I already know come July 2nd, when rank drops in XDefiant Season 1, that having that separation between a ranked playlist and an unranked playlist is going to be so much fun. Like the ability to just go and sweat in ranks and then come back to pubs and vibe with my friends, you know, on a night with, you know, maybe having a beer or whatever. Just being able to chill and just not have to focus and feel like I have to carry people or to play my best so that I can even compete in an unranked playlist. And that I know is going to be amazing. Now, quite a few people have come into my Twitch chat. Obviously, I stream over on Twitch myself playing XDefiant, which you haven't followed, by the way. Make sure you come and follow my Twitch. I stream over there at the moment at 10 a.m. BST. Now, it was 3 p.m. We've since changed to 10 a.m. British Standard Time. So make sure to drop me a follow over there and come check me out. Now, like I said, I've had a fair few people come into my chat and complain when I've killed them. And not even just complain, just kind of be like, why am I in your lobbies? Because I've stomped them, and they obviously aren't having a good time playing the game when that's happening. And I totally get it, right? I totally get it. Now, the reason they complain about no SPMM is because they're either super casual or they're brand new to the game. Now, SPMM for them makes the game fun because they get to play against people of their own skill level, right? It makes sense. And therefore gives them a better gaming experience whenever they do get on to play. Because if they do come into my lobbies and they play against the likes of me, or, you know, maybe even the likes of you, they feel like they have zero chance to compete. Now, I did touch on it earlier, but let me just make it very clear. As someone who doesn't like SPMM, that doesn't mean that I just want to stomp new players. I actually feel very bad when I'm playing a game and I can see that someone is worse, like significantly worse at the game than I am. if they're crouch walking around corners or really slow reactions or they're looking at me and not shooting, like, I feel bad. They shouldn't be in my lobby, and that's what this video is about. I do believe there is a place for SBMM in XDefiant of some kind, and that is just to protect the new players. Now, I know the anti-SBMM brigade, right? The players who have been suffering for the last 10 years are probably going to be watching this thinking, don't give them any, you know, no, it never used to be like that. Think of all the old CODs, but let's just think from a business perspective, right? Think of your XDefiant. Not only do you want a player base that are very good at the game, but you also want to be attracting new players. That increases growth, and that is how a game survives, right? Longevity-wise, you need to give new players and casuals an experience that's enjoyable, and playing against sweats constantly isn't it. I do think after a certain point, that, like I said, it is unnecessary, and I do think there comes a point in time where a new player is no longer a new player, and a casual is a casual with lots of hours in the game, and you need to try and improve in that gated time given to you by the game to improve to be able to play with no SPMM. Now, I actually know that XDefiant has a system currently in place which kind of does that. You have a welcome playlist, so between the levels of 1 and 25, you can play in the welcome playlist, and this playlist has SPMM. It means you'll play against people of a similar skill level, which I think is great. However, I do think you can either expand on that system, introduce a new system, or you just wait for season 1 with ranked. Let me explain all three to you now. Now, level expanding the current system is pretty simple, right? Level 1 to 25 at the moment is the welcome playlist. All you do, you should expand that. So you take from level 1, and instead of going to 25 and stopping, maybe at level 100, for example, between level 1 to 100, you have the option and the choice to play in SBMM lobbies. Now, I know to a lot of you, level 100 sounds like a long old time, and don't get me wrong, it is, but as a level 121, after about 80 hours of playtime, I think level 100 is probably around that 70-hour mark, maybe even less, maybe like the 50-hour mark, and I believe that that is enough time for someone to understand the game, see what they enjoy about it, you know, what guns do they like using, what factions do they enjoy using, and actually just be able to go into no SBMM and not feel like they're trying to learn the game at the same time. Now, once they hit that level 100, all you do, you just take the playlist away from them. They can't play the SPMM playlist anymore, and they're chucked in with everyone else. At that point, you've given them enough time, enough tools, and enough of a gracing period, I think, to learn the game and be able to play with everyone else. Now, the second option is a change in the system, one that I'm not a massive fan of, but it was suggested in my Twitch chat and we discussed it and kind of spoke about it in a bit more detail. Let's say, for example, you're a 0.5 KD player and you're struggling in the no SPMM lobbies, right? The game automatically, once you drop below that 0.5 or you're around that 0.5, puts you into lobbies that have SPMM with other people with 0.5 or lower, right? And everyone in that 0.5 and lower KD bracket goes into these lobbies with SPMM, and they stay there until their KD exceeds that limit. So if in those lobbies they're doing really well and their KD is growing and climbing, then you chuck them into the no SPMM lobbies automatically. And when I say you, I'm talking about the game. The game puts them into no SPMM lobbies automatically, right? And if their KD then starts to decline again and it goes back below 0.5, you put them back in SPMM. If their KD maintains the same or climbs, you leave them in no SPMM. Other option number 3, and option number 3 is the one that I think is most likely to happen. It's most likely what Ubisoft and XDefiant are going to do, is they're just going to wait for season 1 with ranked. Now, when ranked comes out, I believe it's going to make that unranked playlist a lot more manageable, like a lot more bearable for the lower skill or, you know, the new players or the casual players have a fun experience in unranked. And I'm going to try and draw you a little bit of a graph here so you can understand what I mean. And don't worry, it's a professional graph. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so let's just say, right? Here we go. I'm going to draw you this graph. So let's just say this is the player base, right? That's the player base right there. Up, let me see if I can get a little text box. In fact, let's just draw it. So this is pro level, right? This is pro, and down here, this is noob, right? So new players, pro level players, and this is the player base, right? When ranked comes out, I believe probably somewhere around here, all these players, that is not very good. All of these players in here, in this red section, are going to go and play ranked, okay? What that does is that leaves a massive portion of players down here be playing unranked. So these guys are all going to be playing ranked. God. Yeah, whatever that is, ranked, that's meant to say. Hold on, wait, can I type this? I'll do ranked. Yeah, there we go. Ranked. Boom. So I think they'll all be playing ranked, and this group of players will be playing unranked. So you've got the pro players and probably the top, I'd say that's like 30%-ish are playing the ranked playlist. That then leaves a smaller pool of players. So I don't know, maybe it's not pro, maybe these are the, you know, the mid guys, right? They're middle of the pack. You then have mid to noob playing unranked. That will probably make those lobbies feel significantly better for all of these players, honestly, because there won't be as many sweats in the lobbies. Now, you'll still get the odd sweat, you know, come in and, you know, they play some unranked with their friends. But in general, it will be a lot better. And I think that is what XDefiant are going to do. I think they're sticking to their guns with no SPMM. And as much as I think SPMM would be good to protect these players down here, honestly, I think it's these players here that need protecting the most. These players down here are who need protecting. This yellow section down here, this is who we have to protect in these games, right? That's what I believe. But with no SBMM, I do think when Season 1 drops, that it will actually fix the problem. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but I think it will. So then what I think happens is you go with option 3. So you see if Season 1 and ranked fixes the problem for the casual experience. If it doesn't, you go to option 1. So option 1 was expanding that current welcome playlist to expand it to be a higher level. So maybe it's to level 100. And I think you then do that. And that in conjunction with rank coming out probably fixes the problem anyway. But I think even if you just see if rank works, if it works, great. If it doesn't, you go to option 1, you expand that playlist. If neither of those work, then you could look at option 2. I don't think it's a great idea. That sort of SBMM system in a game, I do think no SBMM is significantly better. I just think you have to manage the player experience. And I think rank coming out helps that. And then I also think by expanding that player level, having an SBMM playlist for new players to learn, basically a playground for them to learn and understand, is vital for the longevity and health of the game. It really is. But I think that no SPMM, honestly, a massive breath of fresh air, and I'm so grateful that the XDefiant has launched the way it has. Now, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Drop a comment. Let's have a discussion. I will be replying to all comments regarding SPMM in XDefiant. Like I said, my stance, no SPMM should be how games are. It makes it significantly better when you have a ranked playlist and an unranked playlist that are exactly that, not a ranked playlist and a soft ranked playlist, which is what SBMM delivers. And if you have watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate your support. We are well on our way to YouTube Partner now, and that's all thanks to every single one of you who's been subscribing, liking, commenting, watching the videos, supporting me. Thank you so much. We're going to be here to stay for the future of XDefiant, and I'm really excited to see what's coming. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. There'll be plenty more XDefiant content to come. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.
Commandeer the capture zones. Keep the enemy out. Zone seized on enemies. Capture zone is ours now. They're taking B. Zone to